Well done, Mr. Nickle. You've had a lot of work put into this bike, lots of help too, which has been awesome because I really think that you've learned a lot. What I'd like to ask you is, can you go over there and show us that badass dent?
It came out actually looking better than I thought it would. Thought it'd ruin the whole paint job, but it's fine.
It does make it look way more tough. Can you also show us what you did to make, like what you were fiddling with? It's kind of like when your computer doesn't work and you just have to turn it off and on.
So there's a gas switch right here. I switched that up and down a few times. Tried it. It seemed to work great. Tried it a few more times, and then it ran fine. Not sure
how that happens. Mr. Nickle, when we were trying to plan this out in October, I and my teacher, Wei, had this big calendar set out and was trying to get everyone to write down what had to happen at certain times. And you're like, I don't know, I don't think that's going to work for me. And I started to sweat. But you did it. And you did it in the time frame that we had, and everything actually worked. So kudos to you. But how did you organize yourself to actually get it done? Because there was a lot to do in the time that you had.
Well, there was a lot of help from my mom, yelling at me to do the actual project. My dad also reminded me to go down on the bike, even when I was doing other schoolwork, which I thank him a lot for. But, yeah.
So you didn't find it that hard to get it done in time. It's good.
Well, I guess my question for you would be, so do you plan on doing another one?
I'll have to think about that in a few years when I've actually got this thing down.
And if you did another one, what would you do different? What's the major thing, the one big thing you would do different next time?
Probably get a different tank.
Undented?
What?
Pre-dented or undented?
Undented.
That's all you got?
Okay, so I really enjoyed the process with you, even when I was yelling at you. But I enjoy that also. So you don't yet know how to ride a clutch motorcycle.
No.
And so what are the plans for learning how to run a motorcycle?
Well, I'm going to, on my 16th birthday in September, run down to ICBC, get my L, then have my dad as a supervisor show me how to ride it around Bowen and Cape Roger Curtis.
And how will I be able to show you?
Oh, we have intercoms on our helmets. We can talk to each other. Yeah,
And do you think Bowen is a safe place to learn how to ride?
it is.
I agree.
Huh? It is a safe place to ride. Oh, because there is no highway and it is very slow. All the time.
Remember, 40 kilometers an hour.
30.
30 for you? For a motorcycle?
I don't know.
No, it's 40. You can go 40. Wow. Through this process, through the entire Masterworks process, it really is a lot about how you develop as a person and how you tackle a project this big. What did you learn yourself, besides how you felt about the community and how you were supported, but what did you learn yourself about taking on a big project and how you operate?
You really gotta, as I said before, you really gotta commit to the hours to get it done, because I could have just said no the whole time and wouldn't have done this Masterworks. I would have done something completely different.
How many hours do you think you put into it?
Do Randy's hours count?
No.
Okay. I don't know, Dad, you wanna help me?
Probably, yes. 60 to 80 hours, maybe?
60 to 80 hours.
Yeah. Cool. Well, this is a great example of doing like a process paper that talks about how you built something, just like Jackson's was yesterday. So all of you kids in the audience, remember that this is certainly something that you can be doing, is more of a hands-on, but 60 hours of work is not little. So that's kind of the same as a really good research paper. So well done.
Thanks.
Mr. Nickle, well done on your presentation. I noticed you have 2 pieces of good advice and then an interesting theorem. Your good advice is when you do a project like this, you need to get help and you need to put in the time. And it seems like you did both of those very well, put in the time and got a lot of help. Your interesting theorem, I think I'm going to refer to the Drake-Nickle technique for problem solving. And the theorem seems to be, if you look at it, then it will be fixed.
Exactly.
Aha, okay. Other questions?
How did you get the star, like, on the motorcycle? Like, is it a sticker or something?
Yeah, it's a sticker. We had a lot of difficulty with that because we didn't know how to put a sticker on a curved edge, apparently. So there were a lot of creases in it before, but now it's a little bit better.
Congratulations. How expensive do you think this bike would be if you bought it like this?
2, 3,000, 4,000, maybe 5, 6.
Do I hear 6?
Anyone want to buy it for 6?
Good job. Was there one point during this project where you were just like, oh, I'm done? Or were you always really like you want to keep going and get it done?
Last night, I was very done with this project.
Oh. Okay.
Great job, Mr. Nickle. What would you say was the hardest part about this building or rebuilding the bike?
Wiring, definitely.
All right, question from the sister.
Mr. Nickle, what was the budget and how much was the bike?
The budget was $1,500. The bike was $1,000. Luckily, my dad decided to split the cost on the bike. I still have to pay for everything. Got $180 in so far out of $1,500. So I feel like I'm making progress.
Congratulations. I'm wondering about the actual performance of the bike. Has it improved in its speed control since you, from the first model, or?
Well, since I haven't even read it yet, or wrote it, you have to ask my dad about that after the show. I didn't write it before or after, or now. I really want to, but I can't. So.
Congratulations.
Did you customize anything to make it run faster?
Oh, well, it's a lot more lightweight. It was very heavy before I got it, as you can see in the one picture in the beginning. It had all the luggage bags and the fairing. As you can see, it's very heavy.
Mr. Nickle, this is so awesome. I drove up this morning, was just like, whose is this? And someone said, oh, that's Mr. Nickle's Masterworks. And my question, I actually have 2. The first being, can you hear the difference between a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke engine? And if so, what is it?
2-strokes are a little bit quieter.
Quieter. So when you're driving along and you hear someone in a 4-stroke engine, it would be like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay. My second question is, do you think that now that you understand all the different components and the purpose of all the different components of a motorcycle, that might make you a better driver in the future?
I think so. I think I'll be able to repair it a lot easier. I think.
And then last one, I lied, I have 3. As opposed to a sports bike, how much easier or how much harder would a sports bike be to customize like this?
I don't really know this answer exactly. Again, you're gonna. I don't know.
Mr. Nickle, great job. When I look at this bike, it's a beautiful thing. It's a piece of art. But what is it to you that draws you to motorcycles? Why choose to do a motorcycle as opposed to something else?
Well, I have an awesome ride now. I don't know, my dad's always had motorcycles, and I've always been around motorcycles, so thought it'd be a perfect idea to do a motorcycle.
But is there something about motorcycles that's always intrigued you, or is it just like, that'd be cool?
The look. I think that really pulls me in.
Cool.
Very, very well done, Mr. Nickle. I believe you mentioned a carburetor at one point. What exactly does this do?
I knew someone was going to ask me this. Thought it'd be one of my advisors. It pulls air into the bike and has gas mixed with it, and that's the basic definition of what a carburetor does.
Excellent job, Mr. Nickle. Very proud. You mentioned the gas tank is bigger on cafe racers, so I was wondering how much gas can it hold?
I'll have to look that up.
Other questions from the floor? Go on, go on. Mr. Nickle, this is, as Adrian said, a piece of art, actually. This is incredibly well done. You've done a great job answering all the questions. So in a moment, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to call people back at the top of the hour. Thank you very much.